Good evening. Good evening. Good evening. Good evening. Oh, there we go. Good evening, ladies. Is it really working?
Yeah.
Working.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the October 4th Board of Selectmen meeting. May I have a roll call, please?
Yes, President Selectman Slavin, Selectman Scasiotti, Selectman Tropiano, Chairman Whiteside, Clerk Titlebaum, Town Council, and the Town Administrator are not going to be here tonight.
Thank you. Can you lead the Pledge of Allegiance, Mr. Tadwell?
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Announcements. Mr. Slavin, you have 1 minute.
Sorry, can't do that.
2.
3. AD Makepeace has their Cranberry Festival, which is a major event in the town, usually between 20 and 30,000 people. It'll be Saturday and Sunday. They also are going to do over at the, I think it's the Faring Tavern, they'll be doing, they'll actually be taking people and parking down by the Tremont Nail Factory. So they'll be moving people back and forth by bus or whatever. They're also going to bring people over for a tour of that particular facility, the Faring Tavern. They're adding an extra piece to their setup there. Mezzalunar on the 6th, which is Thursday, 5:30 is a fundraiser for the fireworks for the coming year. Again, it'll start at 5:30. I believe there's hors d'oeuvres, and then there's a live auction. Buzzards Bay Action Committee is going to be meeting tomorrow, I think at 8:30 actually 9:30, sorry, over in Fairhaven. There's another round of major grants from the state and federal government. The last one was about, I think, over $500,000. Wareham and 3 other communities shared in that grant for work on Buzzards Bay. This one is actually a little more money, so we'll be participating in that one too. That's it.
Thank you, Mr. Scasiotti.
All set, thank
Mr.
you.
Tropiano.
Set.
Mr. Titlebaum.
Yeah, I guess it's an announcement, just one update. Tracy Maduro's sister, Deb Debsky, had a successful surgery and then followed up with an additional surgery to clean up some arteries the next day. She had a total of, I think, about 20 hours of surgery over the 2 days. She is slowly waking up now, but the liver seems to be functioning properly. All the numbers are good, so Tracy and her family are very heartened, as are all their friends down here in Wareham. So I just wanted to report this good news there.
Thank you.
Thank you. My only announcement is that on Thursday, starting at 8 o'clock in the morning, there will be 2 playground representatives, engineers, architect and engineers, visiting at the middle school, the Deacon School, and the Minot Forest School to have the school children design their, I'd love to have this kind of playground in my community playground. And then at 6 o'clock at the Minot Forest School, an unveiling of the plan as drawn by the architect engineers will be unveiled. That's it. Citizens' participation. It's nice to see Mr. Barrows back again. Appointments, reappointments, interviews? No. Licenses and permits?
Yes, we have requested bartender service minimum for 3 one-days. We'll do them one at a time.
And again, we have instructed these people that they do not need to come before us unless we have a question on their license because they've been doing business with us for so long.
Okay, number 1. I move that the Board of Selectmen approve the application of... I move that the... You got my gain up, too. I move that the Board of Selectmen approve the application of the bartending service of New England LLC for a 1-day special license, date October 4th, 2016, for a dinner and reception, authorized hours of sale, 4:30 p.m. to 8 p.m. at the Box Mill Hall, 158 Tyhonet Road, Wareham, Mass. 02571, for the sale of beer and wine.
Second?
Second.
Motion made by,
Just a correction, October 6th, not the 4th.
Well, we've got 4th on the, this one here, we've got 6th here.
Oh, it says approval on the 4th, but it says 6th for the event on the form.
Yeah, but I think we have the 4th and the 6th.
Okay. It's not what,
Three-
it's not what the
3
license
one-day
special
license.
says.
Well,
the date of the approval is today.
It's the 4th.
That's
But the
correct.
That's right.
But the actual event is the
They
6th.
stopped putting
Right.
that on there. We
Well,
just approve them when we
You
approve.
turn the-
Yep,
turn
yep,
them
I
yep.
think they have to do that.
So the motion is for October
October 6th,
6th.
corrected. Yep.
And Mr. Tropiano seconded that. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, abstaining, it's unanimous.
Goes in a little faster than that, though.
I wonder if the state can let us flip-flop
Can't
these.
be approving it on the 4th and the event on the 6th. I mean, they gotta be a little more quick with those, don't you think?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, we're not gonna be bringing these people in here for most of this stuff, so.
Yeah, but, let's get them a little
Yeah,
ahead
no,
of
we
time.
should be getting them 30
So,
days ahead
yeah,
of
I
time.
mean, what if we had a problem with it, then
Yeah.
we wouldn't give it to them, and then they wouldn't have the event,
Right,
you know?
that's true.
If they got them in a little more time, then there's time to turn it
It's
around.
supposed to be 30 days.
Okay, the next one, if I can get the date right this time. I move that the Board of Selectmen approve the application of the Bartending Services New England LLC for an event October 22nd, 2016, for a wedding reception. Authorized hours of sale 3 p.m. to 10 p.m. at the Box Mill Hall, 158 Tyhonet Road, Wareham, Mass., for the sale of beer and wine.
Second.
Second.
Motion made by Titlebaum, seconded by Scarsiotti. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed,
Aye.
abstaining, it is unanimous.
And last, we have an application from the Bartending Service of New England. I move that we approve the application of the Bartending Service of New England for an event October 29th, 2016, for a wedding reception. Authorized hours of sale 3 p.m. to 10 p.m. at the Box Mill Hall, 158 Tyhonet Road, Wareham, Mass. 02571, for the sale of beer and wine.
Second.
Motion made by Titlebaum, seconded by Scarsiotti. All those in favor, say aye. Opposed, abstaining, it is unanimous. Request from the middle school for the use of town roads to be held October 16th, Sunday, October 16th. The Readers Become Leaders 5-mile race and walk, which is on Minot Forest, Stillman, and Great Neck, I believe. This is an annual event where there are reading stations, and
So
it's...
moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, abstaining, is unanimous. Secondhand dealer's license for South Shore Generator Service, Inc. All of the information is in hand.
Yep, I checked it, it's in order. Okay, I move that Board of Selectmen approve the application of South Shore Generator Service, Inc. for a secondhand dealer license, which runs from May 1st, 2016 through April 30th, 2017. The location is 2696A Cranberry Highway, Wareham.
Second.
Second.
Motion made by Titlebaum, seconded by Scarsiotti. All those in favor, say aye.
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 Opposed, abstaining, it's unanimous. And
Get these going. That's good. That takes care of licenses and permits.
yes, next.
Discussion of the signed bylaw?
Yeah,
Did you have something on that?
yeah, I just asked to put this on here. Before he left our employ, retired, Dave Moore, the building inspector, had brought up a couple of issues with the sign bylaw that he thought were, where the bylaw was a bit overly restrictive. One was regarding sandwich board signs, and one was regarding the sort of pennant signs where it has like a, it's almost like a little sail.
Banana signs.
The banana signs, as they're so-called. And he thought that it would be a good idea, and he actually went around and talked to quite a few of the business owners before he left. He thought it would be a good idea to try to liberalize the sign bylaws a little bit. We didn't have time to get anything going for this town meeting, but I'd just like to sort of get the board interested in taking a look at the sign bylaw. We've had it in effect about 3 years now, if I remember correctly. And while it's done a good job of cleaning things up, it may be time, like Obamacare, you have to pass it to see what's in it. Sometimes, you know,
That wasn't a good example.
That's not a good
Not
example.
a good example.
no, but
Yeah.
it's a case of where you have a fairly involved law. You know, sometimes after a few years, your experience differs a little bit from what you thought might happen with it in certain areas. So I'd like the board to have some look back on this.
Would you like
perhaps
that to
some
be on the agenda sometime right after the town meeting?
Yeah, no rush. I just wanted to broach the idea to the
Okay.
board.
Is that all right? Yes,
It's okay
Mr. Slavin.
with me.
What I would recommend, because when the sign bylaw was done, we had no town planner in place. You have a new Director of Inspectional Services. Basically, our job would be to recommend to the town planner to look at certain areas which they already have. He already has the signed bylaw on his list, also the TDR as well. So these are things they would be working on either for next spring or fall, depending where it fits.
Right, but we
So
can put
what
it
we-
on our agenda to,
Well, we can discuss it, but then it should be forwarded to the town
Right.
planner. And the other piece is, we really should have the new director of special services look at that weigh in, because he's the one that has to do the enforcement as the enforcement officer for that bylaw.
Yeah, especially until we get that code officer position up and running, it falls on,
Even if we get the code officer, the way that was written, he is the enforcement officer for that. He can designate somebody for it.
exactly. So
He is
he can backdoor that person out onto the street and get it done. The other thing that's and I don't know that we can solve this, but, the bylaw, and I don't want to say it was intentional, it just seems that it's worked out this way. The bigger your store, the bigger your sign can be, it seems, in some ways.
It's by the size of the frontage of the store for square footage.
Yeah,
But you
unfortunately, that tends to favor the big businesses over the little ones, and,
That's the standard for the state, though.
yeah, I know it is,
Okay,
but I'd like
excuse me.
some way to,
okay, so we will put this on an agenda
but-
for, yep, please. I don't want to have this going back and forth right now. Mr.
oh, we're
Titlebaum is expressing
hammering out the
his,
issues.
no, because it's not on
We're
the,
here for.
we are putting it on the agenda. And,
We did, that's why I'm talking about it.
Mm-hmm.
All right,
okay, but in other words, when you speak, he's not speaking. The two of you are having conversations at the same time.
Not really.
Well, no, that's not the way it worked out. Go ahead,
Can I have
Mr.
something?
Titlebaum. When he's through.
no, I understand that that's unfortunately kind of a consequence of how things work out, but I'm just wondering if there's some way we can mitigate it so that the smaller businesses can get their advertising out to more places. I don't know if we can. But it just seems to me that, I hate seeing Main Street dry up. It's nice to drive around town and not see the place festooned with signs everywhere all the time, and I credit our sign warden for taking care of a lot of that stuff. But at the same time, it comes with a little bit of a cost that I don't think I anticipated, and I just kind of like to try to take a look at that.
Mr. Slavin?
No.
Thank you. Next, we have a couple of town meeting warrant articles that we can vote on. Am I correct? One of them is Article 21, the home rule legislation request. Oh, no, we already did that one. Excuse me. Which one is it? The unpaid bills? Did you do that today?
Yeah, unpaid bills is all set. Mr. Sullivan advises that there aren't presently any unpaid bills, but this is just a housekeeping article. We have it in place in case anything pops up.
Is that a motion?
I move that the Board of Selectmen recommend passage of Article 9.
Second?
Second.
All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, abstaining, it's unanimous.
Let's see, union contracts are not ready for free cash. The revolving fund, I don't know about that.
26.
21, 17 last through the Mohicans?
Mhm.
Yeah, 26, just so the board knows, the Finance Committee voted unanimously 9-0-0 to recommend further study on this. I'd like for this board to do the same, but I'd also like us to come up with a motion for town meeting for an actual further study committee, so it's not just a parliamentary means of killing the thing.
Second.
So I'd move further study
Sorry.
with a committee.
Yep, with the committee.
Okay, is there any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed,
Me?
abstaining for 1-0. And you will bring the makeup of that committee back to us next week, please?
Yeah, so we can
And anybody who would like to,
figure it out.
You may want to get a hold of Finance Committee, and maybe it's their town meeting stuff, the article. You may
Okay,
want to ask them to do that.
and that's it for what we can do.
Yep, so the deadline for the booklet, getting things into the booklet closes Thursday, so we've gotten as much done as we can. So for the most part, we're in pretty good shape. This isn't gonna be one of those town meetings where Monday night, we're just cranking out these, 15 of these things to try to be able to tell the body what we recommend, so I think we're in pretty good shape.
The only announcement that I have, no town administrator's report, no liaison reports. The only thing that I have to say is that next week we are meeting at 5 due to the Jewish holiday, so that we can observe that properly. And I had forewarned all of you about that and asked if it was okay. Anything else? Anything else to come before this board? Motion?
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
Second? All in favor?
Aye.
Good night.
Good night, Wareham.